trend. You're invalidating the rest of us. Witchcraft, not a trend. Don't fuck with it unless you know what you're doing.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to Squad Talk Season 2, Episode motherfucking 7. We gotta bleep that out already. My bad. Over here with the host, with not the absolute most, because we kind of suck at this. I got Danny Paz over here in the cut, and then Andy Honcho have the 48, the 8. I'm not going to say the 24 because I'm going to put some respect on that name real quick.
You feel me?
And our very special guest for today's episode, we got Vulcan in the cut. How are you doing, man?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Andy, do you want to kick it off, or you want me to take it off?
Kick it off.
Me?
Yeah.
God, I always got to do this. All right, bro. So let's start with getting, like, I guess, kind of your background, getting to know you a little bit. So how'd you come up with Vulcan, and how'd you come up with, like, the spelling of it like that?
Well, I originally, when I first started producing electronic music, it was like 3.5-4 years ago, and it was under the name To Infinity. And I had a random email for a cease and desist for the name To Infinity, the way I had it spelled. I had no music released, so I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but I didn't have money to find out if it was real, to appeal it or anything. Mm-hmm. It looked real. So I decided that I needed to change the name. And I originally had it spelled out Vulcan because I like Star Trek. I like the alien race, and the whole theme is behind the Vulcan project originally was just experimental bass, and then I fell in love with every genre. But so I was writing it out Vulcan with the C and trying to do different spellings and different capitals and stuff, and I hated the way everything looked out. And my girlfriend's like, why don't you just take the vowels out like everybody else is doing? I'm like, you know what? Let's see what it looks like. And it looked good. So I was like, 4 letters. It's short. It's simple. It's good. Then I ran into a problem for a while with people, and even now saying just VLCN, like they don't know it stands for something, or that it's supposed to mean Vulcan. So it's always fun to be like, hearing people say VLCN. I'm like, I mean, yeah, sure, I'll answer that too.
Oh my god. So, and then you're from Florida, right? Like that area?
Yeah, like St. Pete area, St. Petersburg, close to Tampa.
Okay. How was that like? Because I know, like, it's weird because we're not supposed to have shows, but I feel like Florida and Texas are, like, the only ones saying fuck everything and doing it. Is it weird, like, seeing, like, events going on right now, or not really?
They've been going on here, I mean, legally by the state since September now.
Jeez.
So we had the what, about April to September, we had like the 5-month shutdown like everybody else, and then DeSantis, our governor, was just like, you know what, entertainment industry can open back up 50% capacity. You have to follow the CDC guidelines. Now I've seen videos of some venues recently not following those guidelines. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything really. I can't speak on behalf of those venues, but the main venue that I'm associated with is the Ritz down here in Tampa, and I mean, they're pretty good at following their guidelines. Their security is pretty much always reminding people to get their masks on, and they've actually been kicking people out for not wearing masks. So
oh wow,
oh yeah. I mean it's one of those things where it's such a gray area if they should be throwing the events or whatever. But I mean, if it's done right, done safe, everyone's checked and everything. I mean. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? The show's got to go on, right?
Yeah,
for sure. So, my bad. When about did you get into EDM and everything?
Well, the first time I actually listened to EDM and was like, you know what, I actually want to listen to a lot more of this is when I heard the song from Bass Hunters, All I Ever Wanted, back in like 2009 or 2010, right out of high school, and then pretty much after that. I found like everything around that time: Daft Punk, early Excision, early Liquid Stranger, Flux Pavilion, all that stuff, man. And I fell in love. Like it was a good like 2010 to like 2015. I was like, I really like this stuff, and I got married, and then it kind of like fell off, and I just listened to like regular, just like pop music, rock, like post-hardcore. Like Cheetos was like my favorite band,
right?
And then something clicked back in 2016, and I was like, I want to get back into that. I've always played the drums, so I've always had some sort of musical background. I was like, I think I can make this music and, you know, and do something with it. And I just got back into it hardcore, and, you know, it comes in waves with genre. Like, you know, it's like some days I want to listen to dubstep, some days I like the sad boy stuff, some days I like the weird, you know, Wakan stuff. So it's been a while. It's been like, you know, I've been involved with EDM for like, what, 11 years now or so?
Jeez.
Hell yeah.
So I guess in those like 11 years, when was the my bad? When were you like first, I guess, getting into the idea of producing, and then when that started, how long did it take for you to like feel, you know, content with putting out a track?
I started actually producing like 2016, the end of it. I had I had like Fruity Loops back in like 2012, like a torrented version from Pirate Bay, and I had no idea what to do with it. And I mean, back then, like, you wanted to make rap beats. Like, no one, at least nobody around me, like in my daily life, was like trying to make dance music. They were all rap beats. Let's sell rap beats. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And, you know, it's just shitty drum beats back then. I don't know if I can cuss. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
It was just, you know, I don't know, you guys know FL Studio, but just drum patterns with like maybe a small synth behind it, and that was it. So I had like a really small sample size of like what I'd done before, but then 2016 is where it really hit, that I wanted to do it. Funny enough, after a Chainsmokers show, I know, right? Chainsmokers. Bro, so that show was 2016 or 2017, that Memories Do Not Open tour. Kid opened for them.
Oh, wow.
And that's who really got me into wanting to produce. Like, I watched that Kid set, and I was like, I haven't seen a set live since Skrillex in 2014, so it's been like 2.5 years at that point. And I saw that Kid opening set, and I was like, all right, I'm doing this. And then probably from then, I shouldn't have released a couple of songs at that point. I did a Babatunde remix in like 2018, like a week after it came out. That was the first thing I ever released. I felt comfortable then, but going back and listening to it now, I shouldn't have been releasing music. You know, waited a while, but it wasn't very good.
Do you ever just want to go back, like, I guess with the current like knowledge you have in DAWs, and kind of like either tweak it or kind of like just make it better, or make it? I have it saved. I don't have any of the project files, but it's like I have one song on my SoundCloud left up. It's an LS Dream remix. I made it 2.5 years ago. And that was probably when I felt a little bit more comfortable, like, getting it. I still didn't even know what sidechaining was then. Like, wow.
I don't even think that song is sidechain, but it did well, and nobody in the comments was like, you know, rapping on me for it being a bad, you know, technically, you know, the song being technically bad. It was, you know, the idea was there. Right. So I've left it on there for all this time, even though my music is, I feel, you know, gotten exponentially better than that. But just kind of like, just to remind me, it's like, you know, that's where I started, and I'll leave it up there for everybody to be like, this is where I came from. Like, this is, you know, the first actual project that you could see from the Vulcan project to where it is now. So it's pretty interesting, but I wish I held off on releasing music for a while.
Yeah.
LS Dream remix VIP coming soon to a store near you. No, I'm kidding. I was talking to Connor about that, because I think he was like talking about his LS Dream remix and how he wished he could like go back and tweak it or whatever, something along those lines. And I was like, bro, just make it VIP. He's like, you know what?
If anything, I would just keep everything the same and just make it cleaner. I didn't know what mixing. Well, I knew what mixing was, but I didn't really know what mastering was. There was no master. I just took it straight from FL Studio and threw it straight into SoundCloud, and it's. I mean, you even have like that false confidence, like when you're like, yo, this sounds good, because you're the only one who's heard it, and this is like some of the best stuff you've made currently. Yeah. So like I sent it to LS Dream himself, and he responded and said it was good with a thumbs up. So I was like, oh, this is really good. So I mean, it was like a good boost of confidence to go forward. But now listening back to it, I was like, at least he was nice and didn't be like, why are you sending me this?
Yeah. Just go back and like clean it up and go like back to like the 2012 days and just put like HD version or some shit. High quality audio.
Shadow Self remix remastered.
Yeah, there you go. Next gen only.
There we go.
So what are your takes on drive-ins and even live streams?
Well, I've had my hand in, you know, live streams since they started, like in March. I think I've done 45.
Jeez,
we counted the other day. My manager and I counted up to 45 live streams we've done. But I mean, and the live stream thing was, there was nothing else to do. So like, I
Right.
mean, everybody in the industry jumped on that real hard.
Yeah.
Like right when the quarantine happened and everything was shut down. I mean, Insomniac had events. Like everybody was doing events, and then probably for like 2 or 3 months, and then it got real old. Like everyone's. But like, you know, us like lower tier artists and stuff, like we have no other way to get our music heard or be seen. So it's been nice to do that. I was discovered and got signed to Prism Talent Agency from doing those live streams.
Oh hell yeah.
It's good practice. I mean, I can't play in front of people. Might as well at least play in front of, you know, real people, but virtually, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's keep it fresh. And the drive-ins, I think, like I said, you know, before about Florida and the shows, Orlando's been doing a bunch of drive-ins here, and if they follow the rules, I don't see any issue with it, man.
Do you feel like, are you personally, are you getting like burnt out of, I guess, doing like stream sets or like?
Well, I sat down with my management the other day and we were talking. I was like, all right, man, I'm doing sometimes 2 live streams a week recently, and at least 3 a month. I was like, I don't want to be making a brand new set each time. I still got a lot of music that I need to finish and a couple other deadlines for other stuff. So what I ended up doing was making like 3 good pools of set lists, and I kind of play those same 3 songs and rotate them, and then, you know, rotate the songs in and out. But it's like, I'm not so worried about, all right, now 2 days before I need a SoundCloud dig, I need to find new stuff that people's never heard before.
Right.
I feel like I found myself and found my own sound and like my set styles, to where I always have like, I'm going to have new music in there, but it's still going to be familiar. It's like, I'm not going to burn myself out trying to find 45 new songs every week to put into a set like I did right when we first started doing these. I was, you know, downloading 40, 50 songs, you know, a week before, and all new sets each time.
Yeah. That's how, I think that's what really got to me, was because that's how, I guess I had that same mentality when it came to this, like the streams, because it was like, oh, like I don't want it to be like repetitive or redundant. So it's like, I got to come up with something new. And it was like that for every stream. And I think I did like either 2. I at least did like one a month whenever it first started. And then, I don't know, after a while I was just like, okay, like no more Chase, no more. Like I'm gonna take a break.
I took a good break. I think I had a month off. I don't know if I did any in September. I think that was like a good time for where I actually got a lot of my music that I finished and sent out to labels finished. It was in September, because I didn't have to worry about, all right, I got to stream this weekend, got to stream this weekend. So it was nice to sit down and just like finish a bunch of music and not have to worry about it. But I'm right back on it. I did the stream last weekend. I got one this weekend. Then I'm doing Sunday Swerve on the 17th stream, and then I got my first live show of the year on the 23rd. So it's just keeps going, man.
Are you excited about that?
The live stream or
the show?
Sunday Swerve? Yeah. It'll be the first time I played this venue. It's the first time I played in St. Pete. It'll be cool. It's like a Wubbaholics takeover. So it'll be cool. I don't think they've announced it yet, so I can't say too much about it for the people from that are listening. So
I mean, when? Oh, never mind. He's watching sports. I was gonna say, when does this air? Because I think we're on episode 7, so we do these weekly. So probably like
In a month.
in a month. Yeah,
2-8.
2-8. So yeah, in a month.
it'll be done by then.
Yeah. So you don't gotta worry about that.
All right, cool. So there's some other things that I could talk about on here too, as long as it's not being aired before the 8th.
Oh no, we're actually streaming this on the Rhythm Squad Twitch channel. No, I'm kidding.
I would say I could go off on a tangent about some other stuff then, since I got a whole month that it's, you know, I'm not supposed to say anything for like 2 weeks from now, but that's still, you know, another 2 or 3 weeks before this would even air. So
Hey, you're good, bro. You're good. You got a
You're in the
month
clear.
to, like, you know, like I guess a time period or whatever.
for sure. Oh man, but yeah, I mean, the live streams. I think the live streams are a good thing, man. It's I wish more people took it more seriously. Like I know some people over the time were getting invited to play live streams, and they were just treating it like it wasn't something important. You know, either whether it be half-assing the sets or not even showing up to play their own, like in chat to watch their own set. Like that's stuff like that irks me. I get it. Like we're still in a pandemic, and if you're working, and the live stream's airing when you're supposed to be working. Like obviously that's understandable, but at least let the people know that you're doing that stream for that. You're not going to be able to make it and be active in the chat. It's kind of embarrassing on you to not be there for your own set. You know,
Right.
100%. Oh wow, voice crack. 100% agree on that. Since we're talking about streams, since we're on this topic, Couchlands, Swarm,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How? What was your reaction to that? Like, because I remember Connor telling me it's like, oh yeah, you might hear Swarm play Blunt during the set. Like, how did you find out about that or get that heads up?
I've been friends with Brandon Swarm for, well, friends. Like we've been in a bunch of like artist support groups and stuff together. It's how I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And he on his Facebook he posted, "Hey, I'm looking for some heavy tunes. Can't tell you why." And I'm like, "Oh, I just finished Blunt. It's pretty heavy, but a lot of people like turn away from it because it's 110 BPM. It's like that old school trap BPM, so it's kind of hard to go up and down." But I was like, "Yo, he plays a lot of the mid tempo, 100 BPM stuff. At least I thought, I think he does. So maybe he'll want it." And the next day I looked and he downloaded it, so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then he posted something on one of my posts on Facebook like, "Oh, you make sure to be watching." I was like, "All right, it's coming." So that's cool. That's gonna be real cool, especially for like that song, because that was like my first ever like actual heavy trap tune, and I wanted to kind of like model the sound design and stuff like to my own. But like I'm a huge Stuka fan. Like Stuka's crazy good.
Yeah.
And like I felt like if I can like put it in a Stuka soundscape, what would it sound like? Right. And felt like I did it pretty good, and it was cool to watch all the reactions on there. I think it was like 13,000 people watching for that. That was crazy.
That shit was dope.
That was crazy, and the drop came out of nowhere too. So I was happy I got to be able to record it.
Yeah.
Big ups on that one. Big ups.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Track's hard, by the way. The track is insane.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I love that. That's one of my favorite tracks.
Every time we watch Connor, like whenever he plays a show, he always starts it off with that, and then he's like, "All right, y'all like that?"
Yeah.
Well, the rest of the set's not gonna be anything like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird.
Time for that weird stuff. Man.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So the funny thing about that is I started the first couple of months of like quarantine. I started like learning really a lot from anybody that would teach me mixing and mastering. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot from Miso. Sam Lamar gave me a couple lessons. Just a lot of different people, and like to understand it, because I was finishing like 4 songs a month, 5 songs a month completed. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to keep paying $30, $40, $50 to get these mastered every time. I don't have the money for that.
Right.
So I taught myself to do it, and I think I did a couple my Champa remix for that Flabbergast. That was like the first one that I ever released that was my own master, so I was proud of that. But Blunt came probably a month or 2 after that, and I didn't know that I had my span plugin and my Ulean loudness meter plugin on the front side of the master chain.
Oh god.
So all the numbers were hidden. Like I was like, oh yeah, this sounds really loud. It's still it's still pretty good on the spectrum, and it's like maybe like -7 LUFS. I found out the other day when I opened the project files in front of it, so I put it on the back, and it was like -1 LUFS. It's like really fucking loud. It's like it's crazy, dude. It's and there's a reason when I played it live here in Tampa, and I was like, man, this it's in the orange, but it sounds like really clippy. I was like, something's weird, and that would be why. And I mean, it's released like that, so enjoy it being really loud.
It was funny because there was a show I played at, and the guy after me, because I don't know if it's like that in Florida, but some places like they'll have like the trim like taped off or something, so you can't mess with it, so you're not clipping the entire time, because some people love to do that. Yeah. So whenever he went up there, the track wasn't clipping, but I guess it was the subs that legitimately shook the stage. And he wasn't clipping, and then him and the promoter were just like looking at the mixer. He was like, I don't know what's going on. It's like I don't know. It's like turn down the low end. It's like no. But
that super boosted master chain on when I didn't know that it was that loud. But if I could go back and re-release it through all the distributors, I would just turn it down a little bit. That front, that very first like horn or whatever, that siren is so loud. And I was like, yeah. It took me until hearing it on the system to be like, yeah, that might be a little too loud.
So, go for it. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's all good. It's like I enjoy it. Nobody's ever given me a complaint for it being too loud, so maybe it being too loud worked out for it.
Yeah, it's definitely hits loud as fuck, but it's good. It's hella good.
Do you think there's an importance for producers to be able to actually like play, like let's say an unreleased ID, to be able to be in that atmosphere and like in a club or venue setting, to hear it through like that sound system before they release it, to kind of like make some final tweaks?
I mean, it can go both ways. Like, if you have a good enough, I wouldn't say if you have a good enough studio. I have a KRK 10 in here I didn't have it at that point, but I do have it now. And I feel like anything that I put on full blast through that, and then I go and listen to it or have a friend rent it at a club or something, it's pretty similar. So I don't know, like, what was the last song? I can't remember. I sent a dubstep ID to somebody and they played it, and I heard it. It's still not out yet, but I heard it and I was like, yeah, the highs on these systems are just like are way too scratchy or something like that. But I mean, you could probably pick up little things, like especially when shows come back and you have the opportunity to like play your IDs out a lot more.
Right.
Like, because right now you're going to be listening to what your ID through someone's computer speakers or something, you know, for these live streams. So that's not going to do any good.
Nope.
But if you trust your equipment, there shouldn't be any reason that you should, you know, need to hear it on the system, especially if you understand, like I said, like span, like watching Ahi's videos and stuff, and like the spectrum analyzers and stuff. If you can understand those things and the numbers on there, they're never gonna lie to you. So if the numbers on there are good, it's gonna sound good. So
True.
That's what I go for at least.
Yeah. So when did you hear about Rhythm Squad?
Man, I heard about something on Twitter. Somebody tagged me in something on Twitter, and that's why I ended up following you guys. I never watched one of the episodes until 2 weeks ago. My girlfriend had one on, and I was like, "Is those people that I'm doing the She's like, yeah. She's like, I wanted to see what kind of questions they were talking about. I was like, should I be worried? She's like, no, you're good.
I don't know. It's weird because like whenever people say like this is an interview, it's like it kind of is, but at the same time, it's just like a way to just like sit down and just chat for a bit. That's how I see it.
That's what I looked at it, because I was like, I don't think I need to. I asked you earlier, I don't think I need anything before this. I think we're just chilling. So
yeah, but just I'm gonna ask you about this, and this. Say screw you to your like PR team because I'm gonna get heavy into it.
Right. I don't even know if my manager knows I'm doing this one, but
let's get right into this then. We're gonna restart it.
Shout outs, David. What's up, man? Nah, he's cool with it. I remember when you asked me. I told him I was doing it when you asked me. I don't think I ever gave him a date though. So on that we're good though.
Better than my manager. He was like, all right, we're gonna do this, and this. I was like, all right, sweet. Thank you for letting me prepare. And it's like on my way here.
Yeah.
It's still just a weird time for everybody with everything being shut down. It's like I don't know what he's supposed to be focusing on for me right now. It's like before that, it's trying to market me everywhere to get, you know, where am I going to play and stuff like that, or where can I release this music? And now it's like we only have the music to focus on, unless we're trying to focus on streams. But I mean, those haven't been, you know, any shortcoming. I've had offers almost every week to do one, so it's fun. And it's I hope it actually doesn't go away once everything gets back to normal. I hope people still, you know, find the want and the desire to live stream. It just gives you there's so much more, you know, opportunity for newer producers and DJs to be discovered or to be seen. You know, you don't have to go out there and like chop dubstep the whole time. I think maybe once or twice a set I'll do a nice double or something like that, but I play 3 different genres mainly every set. I play dubstep, I play some sad boy stuff, and then I play a bunch of trap. So it's like I have these, you know, stories that I like to tell. I'm not sitting up there like, look at me DJ. I'm a producer first, a DJ second. You know, that's the only way you're gonna hear my music. And I feel like I don't need to like put on this facade. You know, I'm gonna drop double like I've seen kids do. It's like, it's just not me. That's not what I want to do. So,
yeah.
But there's some kids out there who got some tracks that are just so beautifully made that they just need to be heard. And it's now in the SoundCloud market is so oversaturated because everybody's releasing music right now.
Yeah.
It's these streams, you never know who's watching them. So I hope kids still want to do them once everything gets back to normal, because it's just a really good opportunity.
It's a good outlet.
Oh yeah.
So since we were talking about like, I guess like the oversaturation, like SoundCloud, what I want to ask you is, because like you were mentioning it before, I guess like how many tracks you're putting out like a month. Do you think it's important for like producers to like take a break in terms of production? Always. The beginning of this quarantine, dude, I did like 3 months of straight. All I did was like play Warzone. I didn't even think about music. Like from February to almost May, until I played the first live stream. And I was like, all right, well, this is going to be the new normal, so let's start working on that. But you just don't burn yourself out. I mean, if music's all you want to do, and that's like your passion, and you don't play like video games or have a family and have to do all this other stuff, man, then
and just do music. But I mean, you got to give yourself that mental break. I just feel it's so taxing just to sit there, especially if something doesn't go right. Like, I try not to beat myself up over like, you know, a label looking past a song or something like that. But you know, we're all human. It's gonna affect us one way or the other.
Right.
So it's don't sit there and bang out 5 tunes, send them out. They all get rejected, and now you're in a bad headspace. And,
Right.
and music's your only outlet. Where are you going to go to, you know, if you're in that bad headspace? So
I never thought about it like that, or thought about seeing that kind of perspective.
it's I mean, luckily, I mean, it's almost every producer that I've met recently plays video games. So it's like that's my outlet. Like I'm gonna go
Yeah.
play video games, just get my mind off of everything, and take a couple, not even like a whole week, man, just a couple of days, and then I come back and like just recently I took like 4 or 5 days off before Christmas, and I just finished like 4 whole tracks, like it's right before New Year's, like
Oh, yeah.
within 3 days,
Oh,
like start to finish. And I was like, I had no ambition to do that before, but those 5 days off really, like, you know, clears your mind and lets you be able to come back and do this in a good way.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So do you have any shout out like people we should look out for in your area?
Especially in the Florida area, because I feel like now with like, I guess like everything kind of like being open right now, I feel like people either have like a, I guess like a bigger drive to kind of push themselves. So like I feel like down there and like over here, like a lot of new people like coming up.
There's a lot of people from the Webaholics group, man. Webaholics is on like a crazy up right now. I think they started during the quarantine or maybe right before, and I think they're somewhere in 4,000 or 5,000 followers or something like that. They've grown so fast on
Oh, yeah.
on SoundCloud. There's a kid down here, Ollie. Ollie's he's got a bunch of good tunes. He's getting big. Deep, Gutter Trash. There's a bunch of Tape B. I know y'all know Tape B, I think. There's a lot of, you know, the underground bass scene here has definitely got a lot of up and comers that are gonna make waves, whether it be this year, depending on when we can get back on track, or within the next year. You know, you're gonna be hearing these names. And then, you know, we got the resident at or the two resident DJs on the dubstep nights at the Ritz. You got Lizzie Jane and Burns. They're both immensely talented. They'll be on the come up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Connor, he just made a song with the other guy that I was going to mention, Myth.
Yeah.
Myth has been one of my mentors for 2 years, you know, and I don't think I would be where I am production wise without him. And he doesn't get anywhere near the recognition he deserves, man. And that dude is so crazy talented with every track that he puts out. It's so meticulously done. I think he should be, you know, way up there. But it's like some people just like fly under that radar, and they know they're good, and it's
Right.
like they know they could be way up here, but they enjoy just like doing what they do, you know. And he's definitely one of those people.
I almost feel like it might be just because of like, not really social media presence, but just like notoriety. Just because like people might not like that kind of I guess traction to them.
Yeah,
So,
I've
like,
never asked him, so I'm not exactly sure, but I do believe he's, out of all the people that I've met through music, he's definitely the one that deserves the most recognition. That dude is crazy good, crazy talented.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody look him up, Myth Bass on SoundCloud, crazy good.
So we'll have it like right up here somewhere. Just like his little
I'll send you the link after this.
sweet bet.
Yes.
I really want to check him out now. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good experimental stuff, some slower trap stuff. It's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
All right. So, what would your dream festival or even venue to play at?
I don't really have a dream venue per se, but definitely, you know, since the first time I went to Lost Lands, that's been the goal, man. Like whether it have been for bass music, especially, so they became so much more accepting. The first year was a lot of dubstep, but you know, 18 and 19 was just, you know, lots of good mixture of like bass music and stuff. Huge Wakan fan. If Wakan happens again, you know, Lost Lands and Wakan would be like the two big ones. I mean, I have a hometown festival here, the Sunset Music Festival here in Tampa. That'd be great, just because I've been going to it since like 2015. But
Oh, yeah.
EDC Orlando would be cool, you know, stuff like that. But Lost Lands is going to be that huge goal, man. Like, and I'm going to keep working to that until I can get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's like a really like kind of not really like the end goal for like a lot of people, but because there's obviously like life after music in terms of like end goals. But in terms of like stages, in terms of like people we've been talking to, it's always Lost Lands, and I can understand why, just because it's like the bass music like festival, like that is the one, and especially like nowadays, because like you were saying earlier, it does have like that good variety nowadays. It's not just dubstep, like it has like that experimental bass, and it has the crowd to to draw it. Especially, I don't know.
Any festival where Excision can do a detox set is gonna be good.
Yes, I love his detox set.
Yep.
There's a bass festival down here in Florida, in South Florida, called Forbidden Kingdom. They've had it 2 years, and Excision's a resident at them, and he played 2 sets the first year. One was, I think, with back to back with Dion Timmer, and the second year he did a normal set and a detox set, and that was like the 3rd detox set I've seen. I enjoy every detox set that dude plays, man. Jeff's on a whole nother level with that stuff.
Yeah.
He knows what kind of music he likes, and he knows what kind of music his fans like. So it's like really easy for him to just make these sets and make sure everyone's having a good time and getting what they paid for.
For sure.
And then of course, it's fucking Excision. You got visuals for days, man.
100%. Who would be somebody that you want to like collab with? Like not with like any of the implications of like, oh, is he gonna like respond in a timely manner, or let's say their workflow matches yours, or like there's that chemistry. It's like if there's anybody you could collab with, and let's say like every setting for like the collab to make it happen is perfect in an ideal setting, who would it be?
Recently, before it was AT-Aliens, man. I love those guys. They're perfect blend of the weird, sub heavy experimental stuff, and then they do throw some heavy rhythmy dubstep in there too, and I think that would have been like a really huge dream one, but I'm gonna go way off the rockers and say if it worked out perfectly, I'd want to make a song with Ganja.
Ganja White Knight?
Yeah, Ganja, hands down. Those are, I have them tattooed on me for a reason. They're like my biggest musical inspiration. Now it's way different than the music I normally make, but I always feel like something would be able to work. You can always, if you get on the same wavelength with somebody. But more realistically, towards my style, probably like Louis Jacks. I love them. Stuka. Anybody in that like heavy, like that perfect blend between heavy trap and dubstep, like I feel like would be cool to work with. I don't really think about the collabs too much because I'm always just like making songs, and then it's weird to say, but like I'll just wait for people to ask if they want to jump on a song or like message me first. I don't like to reach out. I feel like not that I feel like I'm gonna get like a hard no or something like that. It's just I don't want people to think like I'm only trying to communicate with them because I want to make a song with them, or I want to use them to get higher, because that's the furthest from the truth, man. I'm perfectly fine sitting right here in this studio just making beats for myself,
Yeah, I say that.
But it'd be a lot of fun. It'd be fun to make tunes with those people, man.
Oh yeah. So what would your all-time dream back-to-back be?
Ooh. To watch, or like to go back to back with?
To go back to back with.
It's gonna be super like corny, but like Excision, I just feel like a lot of my sets are modeled off the way, or Wooly, like both my sets are like really. Besides the trap, I don't know how much trap either one of them. I've seen Excision play some trap, but I feel like the way that the energy of their sets are constantly. They always have these like breaks where it's like, all right, I know Excision and Wooly are gonna come out swinging for 10 to 15 minutes, and they always like. Excision's got his melodic songs. Wooly's got his melodic songs. Millennium would be really cool too, but I don't think he really does too many back-to-backs. He's only done one. I think it was with Excision. I was at that one. That was really good. But like anything where we can go real heavy for a while and then take a break and do some like just really beautiful melodic stuff, because I do love beautiful music. So it doesn't have to be all crazy dubstep all the time.
Oh yeah,
but that'd be crazy.
I feel like
maybe one day.
I feel like that'd be a good one, just because they don't really just focus their sets on primarily like one genre. They have a good variety of different music.
Is it Borgor says like no genres or something? That's like one of his like huge things is like fuck genres or something like that. I follow that very, very, very dearly. I have songs that I'm sitting on right now that are future rhythm, future bass, melodic dubstep. I have regular dubstep. I have slow trap. I have a song coming with Space Wizard.
Okay.
That's gonna be some wonky stuff. I got a song coming with Viscous. I just started a collab with Ion, so it's like I have deep stuff, I got pretty stuff, and then I want to punch a wall stuff, you know. So it's
A little
it's a lot
everything.
it's a lot of fun, man. Music is just meant to be enjoyed, and if dance music's what you do, and why limit yourself to trying to be creative to only one genre? I feel like
Right.
it's your due diligence to just explore and just do more, you know.
Exactly.
So
It's a good way to get noticed too.
since we're talking about like I guess like the one genre and then other genres, is there anything you could say to like people that feel like they're trapped in a one genre bubble and like how to break out of that?
How to break out of it? So say pop it to get out of that. I can't remember who. Somebody on my Facebook that just said something like they were. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of like the criticism coming from, or not even like the criticism of like if their music is bad or not, but like I mean, we live in the internet age right now, so everybody on the internet's gonna say whatever they want because keyboard warriors. So let's say for whatever reason you have Millennium. Let's just use him as a perfect example. Millennium's gonna go and surprise everybody with a dubstep EP for heavy tear out dubstep, which will never happen. But I'm just saying he does that. He's gonna just come with so much negativity behind it, saying he's trying to stay relevant or do what's popular, or what's
Right.
in video games, like what's flavor of the month, like that's following that. I just feel like there's so many people that are afraid of like what the internet's gonna say about them, like or people are gonna compare them to somebody because you're only doing this because it's popular right now. You're only doing this.
Right.
I mean, music genres and subgenres come in waves for a reason, and you don't have to ride the wave and make it your focal point, but have fun, dude. Experiment everything. Like, just make a lo-fi song for just to do it. Like, not. It's like there's no reason for you to put the ceiling on yourself because you're only gonna do so much with that ceiling. Break the ceiling and just keep pushing through and make whatever you want to make. Whatever's gonna keep you creative. If you're in a rut, you can't write dubstep. Go try and write house music. Even if you don't like house music, just do it. It'll you'll learn so much about it. I learned a lot of good things about mixing and mastering through making a couple house songs. And like, I don't like house music unless it's like really grimy G house, but like I made those songs and I learned a lot from it. And it's just I wouldn't have done that before when I started the project. I'm like, this has to be experimental bass only. And that's like that was the forefront of the project. But then once I let go of that mentality, I feel like there's just so much I can do now. It's like I have a curated set. I had like two set types. I had my normal set type, then I had the After Dark set type, and the After Dark is anything that I wouldn't normally play in a regular set. So it's usually like really, really heavy sad boy oriented, some drum and bass, some house, stuff like that. It's like just fun to experiment. You can gain so many more fans through branching out your creativity.
Yeah.
So do you have any shout outs or what was I gonna say? Do you have any shout outs?
Do I have any shout outs?
People that aren't getting the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
Well, there's some people that I want to shout out that are starting to get it. I mean, they're getting the recognition they deserve. There's just only so much you can grow right now. But my homies, Blurred Vision,
Yes.
they're blowing up right now. They make incredible music. I pretty much already shouted out all the other artists that I was like on the top of my list there. Shout out all of Prism Talent Agency, Colton Anderson, my agent Camilla, my manager David. They're pushing me in the right direction, and we got a lot of surprises for people this year, and I'm excited to release some of these songs with the places that I got homes for them. So. But yeah, man, everybody needs to keep their eyes on Blurred Vision because they're literally the future of trap music.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Yeah, I think we have them on a upcoming stream. Yeah. So.
That's
A
yes.
word?
Yeah.
Word?
Word.
They were the first stream I played all quarantine was their trap house sessions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and it was fun. That was still back before like my brand was stuck in. I had to play trap or experimental only, no dubstep, and I was like, you know what? I love dubstep. Listening to it enough. Let's just see where I can do with it. Now it's like the forefront of my project because I just enjoy it so much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Did you have any topics you wanted to cover or anything?
No, the only thing I gotta say is if you're trying to make it, whether it be just producing, whether you just DJ, whatever, man, just if you do it to your fullest potential, you're only gonna go up, man. I don't know anybody. I have not met one person yet that's been giving it their all, that's, you know, peaked, and they just can't do anything else, that they're not going to make it because they're not good enough. It's like everybody just needs to put their all into it, take the time. Yeah, take the time. And it sounds cheesy, but nobody physically taught me to produce. I watched, 10 hours a day sometimes, YouTube, just videos and videos and videos, and you're never far enough along to to stop learning. So just keep learning, learn little techniques that you never, even if you're never going to use them, but now you know them, just never stop giving it your all, and like good things are going to happen. That's pretty much what I've been practicing. So I'm getting pretty far along with it, so I'm excited with it.
Oh yeah. Well, Vulcan, thank you so much for coming by, dude. I know you got busy schedules, you got a lot going on in your plate, especially with the time zone difference. So I would assume that you're pretty busy right now. But
if this is coming out on the 8th, enjoy my release on Subsidia Night 3.
Oh,
1,000 years. It's coming out on the 3rd of February, so you guys have had it for 5 days now. Yes. So that's dope. I hope you guys like that song.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, again, we got Vulcan in the cut. Oh, wait. That was Andy. We got Vulcan right there in the cut. We got Mr. Andy Honcho, half 48, a.k.a. 24, or the 8, if I want to put some respect on him. Not right now, though. And then your host, with not the absolute most, Danny Paz. Vulcan, again, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Shout out to everything you're doing down there. Heard so many good things about you from Connor, so I was super hyped to do this. You don't understand how much that's... I can't even speak. You don't know how much it's meant to me. So thank you so much.
Connor's good people, man. Thank you all. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.